that goes by many, many, many names and monikers, right? But I'm here. This is Notoriously Opinionated. It's your man, Negus the God. Muatim Bonisi, Scrap Low. Call me what you want. I'll answer to anything that I've told you. I'm not answering to anything you want to call me. So feel that. I have what I believe is an interesting episode for you tonight. We are going to be tackling some very interesting topics. I want to talk about to lead off the show. I want to talk about what's more important, family or friends. I really want to know. Tap in. If so I got to thinking about this a while ago, right? Let me move this around a little bit because that is just a tad bit too much. So yeah, much better. All right. So no, it's not much better. All right. So here's the thing. I was thinking about this quote, this phrase that all of us have heard over the course of our lives, right? Blood is thicker than water. That's the common phraseology, that blood is thicker than water. That being the case, the interpretation of that is kind of clear to some, right? So if you think deeply and you just have a broader knowledge than what people are telling you, then you're gonna come up with different things, right? One of those things being what you've been led to believe that this phrase is saying, that blood is thicker than water. So the phrase normally goes, or the interpretation of the phrase normally goes, if so, it goes to mean that familial was called sanguine, right? Familial and sanguine ties are more important than friends. So basically, family means everything, and friends are fleeting, right? And then there is another interpretation of that, which is what's come as, well, it's another translation. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which they also say is a misinterpretation, a mistranslation of a Turnbull quote. Saying that he actually got it from an Arabic phrase that blood is thicker than milk, right? So let's go back. Blood is thicker than water, meaning that family ties, the sanguine blood that runs through your veins and that runs through my veins, brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and grandparents and cousins and aunties and uncles, should mean and be more important to you than non-familial, non-sanguine relationships. Your relationship with your family should mean more to you than relationships that you choose. Now, peep that word. Relationships that you choose. I did not choose nobody in my family. Not nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asked to be here. I didn't ask my mama's sister to procreate and create my cousins. I didn't ask for none of that. I didn't choose none of that. None of that was my decision. The friends that I make are my decision. And that goes back to the Bible. That goes back to Proverbs. You know, like even in Proverbs, it says, that, how does it go? One who has unreliable friends has come to ruin or something like that. And but there are friends that stick closer than a brother. There are friends that stick closer than a brother. I've lived that. I've lived that quote. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have 3 biological brothers, right? And the thing about my brothers, as I love them all dearly, right? I don't know them as well as I know other men that I've called my brother that I've known forever, right? There were bonds that were created, you know, and that just happens, you know. What if you have a mother that could have cared less about you? Like, you were, for all intents and purposes, a mistake, and thus your sanguine blood-related mother treated you like that. Or what if you was a jackass of a child? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you was an asshole son or an asshole daughter? You know, and could care less that this woman that birthed you is your mother. Could care less. You know, what if you had an abusive father, a father that beat your mother, right? A father whose father and mother fought, and his father beat his mother and taught this to your father, which did this to your mother, right? How much respect are you going to have for that man, regardless of whether he is a blood relation to you or not? And so that's why I pose the question, like, what's more important, family or friends? Because you didn't choose this abusive father. You didn't choose this non-nurturing mother. You didn't choose this abusive grandfather. You didn't choose the incestual great grandfather. You didn't choose any of that. You know what I'm saying? Why would you have to stay loyal to them? Because y'all family? I don't believe so, you know, and I get criticism, a lot of criticism about that. You know what I'm saying? Because why am I going to continue to show you all of this familial love and give you all of this familial support when I've not received it? Like, that just don't make sense to me, bruh. It just don't. You know what I'm saying? In that same notion, I feel the same way about my friends. Like, I am not going to continue to be friends with someone who consistently shows me that we are really not friends. We're more associates. We're definitely not brothers. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you, Mac. I agree. You know, you can share the same blood, share the same genes, and not be close to that person. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard mothers say that they would have a child that they really didn't want and look at this child and be like, they would, you know, people in the room, either her mother or the baby's father or something would come and, you know what I'm saying, after a minute of her giving the child up, voluntarily giving the child up to somebody else, they would try to give it back and she'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. You know, how do you? So now, again, the obverse of that whole blood is thicker than water is, and it kind of goes towards what they say is a misinterpretation, but it definitely goes towards the Arabic interpretation. So you got blood is thicker than water. You have the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, and you have blood is thicker than milk. What all of those and the second interpretation of blood is thicker than water means is blood covenants. So back in the day, as far back as you kind of want to go, cats would take knives and cut themselves, you know, and mend their blood, making them blood brothers, right? And a lot of times they would do this in like in arms type situation, like brothers in arms, because I mean, and you've heard guys who have been to the military, they say it all the time. It's like, this is my brother. It'll be a white dude and a black dude, and you'll hear the white dude talking about, I don't give a damn, this is my brother because we've been in arms before. This man saved my life. He's risked his life to save my life. And so the covenant that we have, it may not be in blood, but it's an oath. You know what I'm saying? They take an oath. Back in the day, they sealed it in blood, you know? And those bonds were stronger than any sanguine related bond that you may have with a family member, you know, because like my guy said, sharing bloods and genes don't mean you close. It doesn't. You can share the same blood and not give a damn about each other and show it, you know. But again, when it comes to friends, right? What it do? Yes, sir. Good to see you. All is well. When it comes to friends, you choose your friends. You know what I'm saying? So if that relationship falls to shit, that's your fault, because you chose that, you know? So I've had, unfortunately, friendships that fell apart like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a real enough of a dude to give anybody, we may not be friends. We may not talk. We may not come in contact with each other. I may not see you, but I don't wish anybody any harm. You know, I don't wish anybody any harm. And so the realness of it is, we just weren't meant to be friends. You know what I'm saying? Because if a person consistently shows you that they are not your friend, if a person consistently is not there for you during a moment that you know that you would be there for them, you know, and you understand that it's not the fact that being there for you in this particular situation is not in them, but it's 3. I know who you are, bruh. What it do, my man? Why I don't know why you look. You know I can see your picture, right? 3. you you do realize I can see like your picture comes up in the comments. I can see your picture, bro. But and I need you to hang around because I'm about to hit something that I want you to chime in on specifically, right? Um, but that's you know, so you got the 3 phrases. You got blood is sticking in water, the blood of the covenant is sticking in the water of the womb, which is what I was just talking about and explaining. The blood oath that people would have with each other and connect blood. And next thing you know, they feel like they brothers for life, right? Uh, right. And then blood is sticking in milk. So it's like a lot of times during those blood exchanges, it wasn't just sealing it like this. Like they would actually connect and taste the other person's blood, you know. And so that whole reference refers to um, the blood that you taste as um, you choose to taste this blood of this brother versus the milk that you shared in the womb with your sanguine brother. You feel me? So that's kind of where that goes. But I'm really just interested in which is more important to you: family that you had no point in choosing. You know, you didn't choose your mama, you didn't choose your daddy, you didn't choose your grandparents, you didn't choose your auntie, your uncle, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, nothing. You didn't choose none of them, but you chose every single friend that you got. You know what I'm saying? Disclaimer: I love my family. You know what I mean? Like my father's transition day is coming up in like 2 days, right? My guy been gone for a few years now, and it's still kind of tough on your guy, because that was my dude. And I'm definitely gonna do, I don't know if it's gonna be a live episode, because it might be some shit I gotta cut. I don't know if it's gonna be a live episode or if it's gonna be recorded, but I'm definitely doing a tribute to my father, the late great Steve Kennedy Cummings, right? So watch out for that one. All right, so let's transition. Y'all not gonna give a fuck about some of this that I'm about to say, but I don't care. This is Notoriously Opinionated. This is my notorious opinion, and we're gonna talk about it anyway. So in my youth, I always felt myself a poet, right? I've written plays, I've written screenplays, I've written books of poetry. You know what I'm saying? Not like you 3, right? Because y'all shit always been dope. The recipe, hey man, if you're not hip to the recipe, man, get with it, man. Them dudes, hey man, they something else, you know. And once you it's an experience. Once you experience the rest, and I'm glad you on here, because I'm about to talk about a poet that may not have been real. And I'm gonna talk about a theater a little later on, that needs to be highlighted. But I've always prided myself in being poetical. You know, I had a what was it? It was the name of another podcast that I thought about doing, called Libran Poetic. I'm a Libra. I felt myself a poet. You get the metaphor. So early on, even in school, man, I was always into Shakespeare. Like the way that dude would phrase things, especially about women. I was like, This motherfucker's dope. Man, he getting all the chicks in the 18th century or 19th century. You know, he getting all the chicks, right? Little bit. All right, a lot of bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause look, I was a rapper, which also ties into something I'm gonna talk about a little later. I was a rapper. I was a poet. I wrote books of poetry. Man, I used to get chicks from high school on just from the written word. You know, just from the written word, was knocking all kind of girls. You know. The Mouthpiece Code. Got that from Steve Kennedy too. But I remember a movie coming out back in 2011 that when it came out, I was like, man, that looks interesting as hell. I need to check that out. That looks like a must see. Never seen it. Until 48 hours ago. Right? 48 hours ago. So my question is this, switching gears to this topic. How many of y'all was told that William Shakespeare was the author of Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, 12th Night, all these classic plays in American history and American playwright lore? Who I was told that Shakespeare wrote these plays? That's what I was told. So it's a whole theory that turned into a whole movie with evidence to the contrary, right? Evidence to the contrary. So listen. They what are they called? Anti-Stratfordians. That's what they're called. Anti-Stratfordians. Because Shakespeare was supposed to be the Stratford, the Bard of Avon. I wonder if that's how they got the name Avon lady, because anyway, he was the Bard of Avon. That's why they call him the Bard. So, but you got these Stratfordians that came with a whole different thing. And they are claiming, it's a few different claims, right? The main two were that the poems of Shakespeare were actually written by either Sir Francis Bacon or this cat named Edward de Vere, right? And they got evidence. Like, Shakespeare was illiterate. I did not know that. They did not teach me that in school. I didn't learn that in English class. I didn't know that Shakespeare was illiterate. They said that he was an actor and could read well enough to learn his lines, but couldn't write. Couldn't form letters. Hold up. I know, like, we got pens and pencils, and they may be a little more reliable than the quill. Dip, write a little bit. Dip, write a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It might, these pens we got, these ballpoint pens and whatnot, they may be more reliable than the quill, a feather with a tip on it that you dip in some ink and write a little bit, So, but you still got to know how to form letters. You still got to be literate enough to form letters to write this. And the way that he wrote it, they said that, I read that, now Pete, his parents mom and dad, Shakespeare, both illiterate. Their parents, both illiterate. Shakespeare's children, illiterate. So he was good enough with words and letters to where he wouldn't even teach it to his kids because he was illiterate. Couldn't write. Never found nothing written in his handwriting to suggest that he wrote any of that. None of it. None of it. So we have Christopher Columbus, William Shakespeare. Neither one of them should be celebrated. You dig what I'm saying? Like, so there's a movie, the movie that I'm referring to called Anonymous, right? Check it out. Costs like $4 to rent it because I couldn't find it nowhere free. But you get it for 48 hours on YouTube. You can watch it as many times as you want. It's called Anonymous. It's the story, the untold story of William Shakespeare and how he was really a fraud. So check that out. Now, I say all that to say this. To hell with Shakespeare. Let's talk about a real poet. So let's switch gears again and get into this August Wilson, right? This Black History Month. You know I was going to talk about somebody that was Black and the accomplishments and achievements of the real bard. Like August Wilson was our bard. You know what I'm saying? He wrote masterpieces. He wrote. So he has, and I learned this probably I knew a itty bit about August Wilson before I started working at KC Milton Pot Theater, right? I learned all about August Wilson since, right? So August Wilson was a 20th century playwright, Black man, genius. His most celebrated works were what's it called? The Pittsburgh Cycle, right? The Pittsburgh Cycle is where he talks about a different decade every cycle of the 1900s, you know, starting from 1900, 1910, 1910, 1920, and so on and so forth. So if you have ever seen the movie Fences, that is an adaptation. That is a screenplay adaptation of an August Wilson play. So he's written a bunch of them. The Piano Lesson. So, and again, I learned all these plays from being at KC Milton Pot Theater. Now, if you have never seen nor read an August Wilson play, I'm telling you, the man was dope, you know. So again, KC Milton Pot Theater, look it up. They do all of August Wilson's plays, and you know, it is fantastic performances. My guy 3 was in a gang of them. The last one I remember that she was in was Piano Lesson, right? Dope. Like, he killed it, they killed it. It was Piano Lesson was so dope, right? Extremely talented writer. And so all of respect to August Wilson, you know what I'm saying? So, and there's no question that he wrote all his shit. Fraud Shakespeare. Anyway, within that same note, we have currently at least 2 that I personally know of that are so dope, right? So 2 Trains, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. You was in 2 Trains. That's right. 2 Trains was dope. Oh my God, 2 Trains. Two Trains was so, oh my god, Two Trains off the hook. I don't know if you seen the black and white version of Two Trains that I did. I like that one better than I like the one in color. The black and white Two Trains looked so dope. But I digress. Um but there are two playwrights. I just saw one of them's plays. Harvey Williams, the founder of Casey Melton Pot Theater, wrote a play called The Session. I'd never seen The Session before. It's been performed a few times before I ever found out about it, and so I'd never seen The Session before. But I seen it. What the fuck? I mean, man, The Session, oh my god. Like what this man did with 5 women, amazing. So the next time that The Session plays, I'm gonna let y'all know, man, you need to go see The Session, right? And Lewis Morrill, right? Lewis Morrill, he's, oh man, I seen 3 of his plays. All of them was dope, and I'll have you guessing the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Dope. So that is, I'm telling you, if you have not been to see August Wilson play, if you haven't been to Casey Melton Pot Theater, go down there and check it out, right? And again, if you have not ever seen The Recipe, check out The Recipe, man. I'm pretty sure 3, put The Recipe's handle in the chat so I can put it on the screen. So these brothers I've been knowing for quite some time, right? I've been knowing these brothers for years, and my guy 337 and my guy Priest. Matter of fact, Priest is my godson's mentor. Boom. So there that is. But these brothers is actors. They are seasoned poets, like crafted, like wielded. All right. All you gotta do, go to Recipe. What is it? Recipe Poetry Guild on YouTube. Recipe Poetry Guild on YouTube. Where'd it go? Ah, there it is. I don't know why I made a big U. Typing too fast. Recipe Poetry Guild on YouTube. All right. One of the last things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about it because it's something that I'm about to have to endure here in a minute, and I'm just curious about what people really think about it. Flying, right? So it's a bunch of trips that my family is planning, and you know, they got me getting on planes and boats and all different type. Look, my people ain't did good with boats for centuries, you know, and so I'm not thrilled about the whole boat thing, but I'm trying to get over it. At the same time, I'm not thrilled about flying again neither, you know, because doors is flying off of these planes. You know what I'm saying? Like in flight. Okay, here's the plane. There's the door. Planes in flight. 70,000 feet up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? The doors are flying off of planes. You know what I'm saying? And these is Boeings. So listen. No disrespect to those that I know that used to work for Spirit, but I know dudes. I know dudes that work for Spirit. Ain't no way hell I'm getting on no plane that they built. Swear to God, I'm not getting on no plane that these dudes built at all. I know you. No, I know your work ethic. There is no way on God's clear earth that I'm getting on no plane that some of these dudes I know make. No, absolutely not. No. Right? So, listen. It's manufacturer flaws at the hiring table is what it is. It's not just manufacturing flaws. The flaw was hiring these dudes. Man, listen, I know you don't know people's work ethic when you hire them. God knows I know. I done been through it. I done hired some people that I was like, but it should be a way more stringent process when you talking about flight. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the half of it. Like, I'm watching YouTube videos and like TikToks and Instagrams and Facebook of people like it's blatant disrespect. Like I've had this conversation previously. So it was an incident to where, you know, it's economy class, and people are the whole thing is to recline or not to recline. That is the question. Shakespeare / Bacon / DeVere. Pick one. But to recline or not to recline, that is the question, right? Whether 'tis nobler to get the shit slapped out of you or just chill and be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, but here's the thing. It was this one chick. She said she reclined in her chair, right? And we talking about recline is like in economy. It's not like you're going back very far. You know what I'm saying? This is economy class. You ain't going, even in recline, that's recline. You're not going far. You dig? You're not going far enough to invade somebody's space for real. And like she said, if you wanted comfort, you shouldn't have been in economy class. You should be in first class. What are you in economy class for talking about comfort? What does that mean? You know, what is comfort in economy class? But here's my thing. The recline thing, they can do it. You can do it too. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily have a problem with that. You put your feet on my armrest. We fighting on that plane. I'm sorry. That's not true. I apologize. That was an incorrect statement. I shouldn't have said that. That is not true. If you put your feet on my armrest, I'm gonna knock you the hell out. We ain't about to talk about look, bruh. Move your feet. What is your problem? Move your feet. No, and then get to kicking my chair, man. be in that little seat in the front of the plane, waiting on them to unload, cause ain't no you know you got your feet all on my you got your feet all on my abdominal area. Come on, man. If you don't move, man, you're gonna be footless. You're gonna be feetless. Keep playing, you know. So it's not just the manufacturing that I'm tripping about. I'm tripping about the blatant disrespect. You know, and folks is tripping on these planes right now, and I just ain't got time. I really don't. I got better things to do with my life than trip with somebody wanting to put their feet up on my armrest. I just can't do it. Uh, I just can't do it. Yeah, that was a whole shift from the profound to the frustrating. And I'm not thrilled about this boat ride neither. You know, I'm not thrilled about the boat ride. Like I said earlier, my people, we ain't did well on boats. And I get nauseous. So I'm not happy about all that. But I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it. Thank you for not calling me. Thank you for texting. Diamond G, you would text me right now while I'm doing. So I'm just curious as to what everybody was thinking about this whole plane thing. Doors flying off and people putting their feet on your armrest. Now let me go over the areas of human activity that we have covered tonight. When you're talking about Shakespeare, the blood of the covenant being thicker than the water of the womb, blood being thicker than water, blood being thicker than milk, right? That covers a lot of different topics. You know what I'm saying? That is, for me, it was entertainment. But you're talking about that was political. That was entertainment. It was labor, literally. Literally labor. You know what I'm saying? Like the labor that had to be done for each of the mothers to have each of the children for them to be related, right? And for everyone else to not give a damn about whether we related or not. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some that have closer relationships to their sanguine family than they do their friends. Their friends is like friends be damned. And it's like some that have a deeper relationship with their family, and family means everything. And then you got those in the middle that's like, you know, I'm a do right by who do right by me. That's where that fall. Next being the Bard, Francis Bacon, or the Bard, Edward DeVille, and not the fraud, William Shakespeare, right? So we talked about how William Shakespeare was a fraud. That was that's economy. That's because he was that's not absolutely economy because he didn't write none of the words, so he was not economic with them. That was entertainment. That was education, you know, because like my guy said, he was today years old when he found that out. That Shakespeare, more likely than not, did not write, and it was an addendum to that, right? An addendum to that, you got Mark Twain that said he don't think that Shakespeare was the actual author of his stuff. Who else? Sandra Day O'Connor, I think, was one of them. Walt Whitman, Sigmund Freud. They all was like, nah, he didn't write that. You know, he didn't have the education to write that like that. You know, and I concur. Uh, but next we talk about a real playwright, August Wilson. If you haven't checked out any of August Wilson's things, check out what's called the Pittsburgh Cycle, where he goes through different decades. And he talked about us. He talked about the Black experience. Uh, he talked about what was current going on in our lives, and he said it in a profound way. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the? Okay. Um, his plays are raw. They're funny. They're awe-inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get something out of it. You're gonna have questions. You're gonna have things you want to talk about after the play. So go check out one of August Wilson's plays and get Shakespeare out your mind. Next, we talked about Flight. That's labor. Because again, I know some of the cats they used to put the planes together. Man, ain't no way. I promise ain't no way. Back on the Shakespeare thing, go see Anonymous. Not go see Anonymous like it's in the movie theater or something, but watch the movie Anonymous. It was pretty good. From a filmmaker standpoint, Anonymous was dope. You know what I'm saying? Just how they did it and how they told the story. It was just dope. See Anonymous, and then like don't fly Spirit. Just, you know, public service announcement. Don't fly Spirit. All right. Let me wrap this all up. Let me tell you some things that your kid got going on, the guy got going on. So I'm working on a couple of nice size projects, but one huge project for Kansas City. And I seen this. It was I want to say it was an Instagram called KC Support KC. I look firmly with that. You know what I'm saying? One of the things about Kansas City, other than the fact that we just hell bent on wanting to kill each other, is the fact that when you see somebody that's trying to do something, right, and you're in place to lend aid, you don't. For some unknown, maybe it's just maybe you know somebody else in that lane and you want to lend your support to the one that you know versus the one that you don't know. Fine, I kind of understand that, you know, but support Kansas City people doing things, especially when it is either about or could benefit Kansas City. So I'm about to do a documentary, and it's a big one, about Kansas City going back to the 80s. This is the 50th year of hip hop, right? And I know Kansas City has been we've been in that since the beginning. There's artists from the 80s, from the 90s, in the 2000s leading up to now that have been dope. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, there's the names that everybody know out of Kansas City. Everybody knows Tech Nine. Everybody knows Rich the Factor. Everybody knows the Popper. They legends in Kansas City, right? Everybody know Ron, you know. But there's dudes that nobody has ever heard of that they need to understand the origins of all this, and I plan on telling that story. So be on the lookout. But sadly to say, my time here is done. So check out your man on just find me on social media, man. I really ain't hard to find. You know, I'm on check out Notoriously Opinionated on YouTube. I'm here on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I need to figure out this TikTok, you know, because it's apparently millions of people on TikTok. So I'm gonna have to get on TikTok too. But yeah, just find me on social media. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hard to find. D Blue KC. Like, share, subscribe this one. Tune in next week. Notoriously Opinionated. It's been your man of many names and letters. And I'm out. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Peace.